Hello and welcome to our very first episode of the UH Sussex Preceptorship podcast. I'm Harry.
My name is Gemma.
And we're your hosts.
Yay! Over the next 9 episodes, we're going to really unravel and explore what preceptorship looks like across the trust. Explore the different areas of the hospital and really look into why it's so important for our newly registered staff. So here at UH Sussex, we're going to start by meeting our preceptorship team, but we're very excited with our first 2 guests. We have Trish Rigby and Cheryl Giles, who are the head and deputy head of practice education here at University Hospital Sussex, and midwifery as well. So if we start with you, Trish, can you just say, perhaps a bit more eloquently than I did, what your role is and why preceptorship is so important?
Of course. Thank you, Gemma, Harry, and thank you, so much for inviting Cheryl and I here today. And this very first episode, we're really excited to be here, so thank you. So my name is Tricia Rigby, and I'm the head of clinical education for nursing, midwifery and practice development. I've been in the organisation for many years, and we're really proud with our preceptorship programme and preceptorship strategy here at University Hospital Sussex. We think it is so important. It's a way to make sure that our newly registered nurses, midwives and AHPs all feel valued, welcomed into the organisation. Firstly, that's the most important thing. We appreciate that our newly registered nurses have got the skills and the competence. That's why they're on the register. So preceptorship to us is about ensuring that we can support them with confidence, and competence if there's some skills that are new, but this is all around how can we support them on that first bit of the journey to ensure they feel confident in their role. So it's really important to us, and of course, if we can ensure that part of their journey is the best that it can be, it just means that our patients are getting the best safe care possible, but also that they're going to stay with us, and it's a fantastic recruitment tool as well. If you've got the great preceptorship programme, of course that's going to attract people into the organisation as well. So we think it is it's especially important considering operational pressures at the moment as well. So we have to be reactive to what's going on out in practice, and this, if we can support with some resilience and just knowing that there's a team around them, there's someone there to support them with the well-being as well, that can only be a great thing for us and for our patients.
Definitely, thank you. So Cheryl, if you introduce yourself, and I know that sort of related to what Trish was sharing there, there's this sort of first 100 days initiative. Would you be happy to share a little bit about that?
Of course. And as Trish said, thanks for having us. My first ever podcast. So,
okay.
Yes, I'm Cheryl. I'm Cheryl Giles, Deputy Head of Nursing and Midwifery for Clinical Education and Practice Development. I'm Trish's deputy and support education and the vision for nursing and midwifery education across UH Sussex. So a really exciting job, and part of the role that education has to play in nursing and midwifery at UH Sussex is absolutely around retention. And we've just started a new initiative called the First 100 Days, and it's not a standalone initiative, and it will dovetail other initiatives that we have for later careers. But the first 100 days, research has shown in any career in the NHS is really important to help people stay in an organisation and want to stay. And we all know that when we feel welcomed, part of a team, we know what we're doing, we know where we are, we know who our key people in our team are, that we feel safe, confident and able to do our jobs well. So the first 100 days in theory starts before day one, because we have the onboarding process where people are recruited and they have to get all their DBS documents back, they have to get all their rock health done. So it's important that HR are accessible, so we're firming up all of that, so that when they start on day one, they're welcomed into their new team. There's an ID badge, there's a uniform, there's rosters, all of the things that make us feel like we know what we're doing and we know where we are. And as people, we need that, don't we? To feel confident.
Safe.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It does. And it's not a new initiative in lots of organisations, or certainly in the private sector. First 100 days is really focused on. It tends to be around what people can achieve in that time, and we do want to support people in what they can achieve, but we also want to make sure that they have a supportive environment to just learn and get their whereabouts, get their get a feel for what their job role is. So they'll have some thrive and grow conversations. They'll be supported with a preceptor if they're new to nursing and they're in that transition phase. They'll be prepared and get ready to access preceptorship. They'll have their local induction. So all of those things, again, which can help people perform in their role and feel like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it works really closely with us as the preceptorship team, doesn't it? Because that's what we want, is
like giving that good start. Just to thrive, really.
We were reflecting, weren't we, on the word preceptorship, and people outside of nursing know what it means. I mean, I asked my daughter, and she thought it was a boat.
Yeah. Did you have preceptorship when you were training? What did you have? What kind of support did you have when you first qualified?
Well, Florence Nightingale and I. There wasn't preceptorship. There wasn't any preceptorship when I qualified, and I think I got a little bit. So I was saying to you earlier, Charlotte, we had to do some. We did a staff nurse development program in my first year, but it was much more around competence. But I was still able to perhaps come together with colleagues, so I was fortunate. But it certainly wasn't a thing.
Structure.
It's just different, wasn't it?
It was.
Nursing's evolved.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And of course, we learn all the time, as we said before, through evidence and things. But no, I certainly didn't have any preceptorship.
What about you, Cheryl?
Well, I qualified in this trust 25 years ago, and again there was no preceptorship, and it was a really scary time. I was really young as well. On reflection, I was really young, and it was overwhelming, and I wanted to run away, and I felt like it was only me that felt like that. And I think what you were saying, Trish, really resonated, just around actually people coming to a room and sharing their experiences make you realise this is about the transition. It's not about me. So I think the role of preceptorship and the role of the preceptorship team in helping people feel safe is more essential than ever.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
We're going to move on and interview some of the rest of our immediate preceptorship team, which is really, really exciting. Thank you guys. It's been a really, really lovely chat.
Thank you.
And now joining us, we have got Mel, Kat and Rachel, so our core preceptorship team that work with myself as the Band 7 over at St Richard's and Worthing, and yourself, Harry, who say a bit about where you work. We haven't actually introduced ourselves, have we, properly?
No, we have not. I started my career in Worthing, and I've been there for the last 13 years of my career. And in January, when I joined the preceptorship team, I now work one day in Brighton and the rest of the week in Worthing. And it's finding the areas we still need to align on and working on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So guiding us on that is our lovely matron, Mel. So you happy to just say a little bit about yourself and the preceptorship module?
So my name's Mel. I'm the clinical education lead for preceptorship. So I cover, it's a trust-wide role, so it covers all 7 hospital sites. So the preceptorship module, I liken it to kind of the spine of the preceptorship year. So the preceptorship year is mainly done in the clinical environment, sort of 90% plus you're working in your new clinical environment, navigating the new things there. But the preceptorship study days give some kind of structure to that, where you meet with other preceptees, you get a chance to meet the team, and they can signpost, you can chat about things that you're struggling with, tell them about the things that you're really pleased that are going well.
Thank you. Kat, are you happy to just say a little bit about who you are, and perhaps what is your favourite day? Or do you have a favourite day that you facilitate on the preceptorship module?
Definitely. So yes, my name is Kat, and I'm the lead for the preceptorship module for Brighton and Hayward that covers the Royal Sussex County Hospital, the Children's Hospital here as well in Brighton, and over at Hayward Heath we've got the Princess Royal Hospital. In terms of what my favorite day is, facilitating the module, my favorite day is the welcome day. It's the day one where we have all new staff coming in to start the program in preceptorship, and it's really just that welcoming atmosphere to be able to be there for them and welcome them to the trust.
What happens on a day one that
okay.
you like about it?
We get to talk about the challenges, what they kind of experience possibly.
And there's the rostering.
Yeah.
I think the good work-life
Schedule.
balance.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, we have the same thing, and I think
Yeah.
it's really nice. My favourite bit is just meeting new people. I find I get quite excited.
And it's the privilege as well to be there at
See,
the
I'm
start
just
of their
like,
careers. That's it. There are so many things that just happens on a day one, which I really love. So yeah, that's why that's my favorite day.
Brilliant.
I think it's really good having everybody in the room going through the same sort of range of experiences, because you might be the only newly registered person in your clinical area and you're having to go through all those sort of doubts, and then suddenly you're in a room of people who are all sort of navigating the same kind of thing, so it's like you found your people.
Validates those feelings. I like it because you find they're in all different areas of the hospital, and it's really, really good when, especially when you're walking around and seeing then the next cohort of nurses, and you see some of the previous preceptees that are now band 6s or specialist nurses. That sort of gives me the goosebumps already. Thank you, Kat. Rachel, are you happy to say a bit about who you are, where you're based, and perhaps what you like most about working with the newly registered nurses?
Yeah, so my name's Rachel. I'm mainly based over at St Richard's. I'm one of the clinical educators. I predominantly come out and visit our preceptees out on the wards, which is something I quite enjoy, because when you first go out and see, they're quite nervous and they're sort of looking for that validation that they're okay. And every time you go back and visit, there's just that little bit more and a little bit more, and then towards the end of their year, they've got that confidence. You start seeing them take on students themselves. They're starting to pass on that learning and that knowledge, and you know, sometimes that knowledge is teaching me as well, because my background isn't from the ward area so much. So going out and working with them and sort of turning around and saying, actually, can you tell me? It sort of helps with that relationship development as well. And it's so nice seeing them sort of change their role from being that, am I doing the right thing, to being quite happy to go, yeah, of course, let's do this, let's do that.
Yeah.
And then they sort of grow and come up to you when they've got their band 6s and they're sort of so excited, and it's just it's a lovely feeling just being a part of that process for them and showing them they can do it and giving them that bit of belief in themselves.
Definitely. So important. That authenticity about what we don't know as well is so important, isn't it? Because your roles change over time. And I mean, my background's critical care, so going out onto one of the wards can feel quite...
I think it's always really important to role model uncertainty and to role model how to ask for help and to say that you don't know, because as nurses in a safety critical profession, that's something that we should always know how to do, and I think it's really good that we don't pretend that we know everything.
Lastly, what we were wondering is, do your friends and family know what you do? Do they know what preceptorship means?
It's a really difficult one to sell to friends and family. It's quite a difficult explainer. I talk about the fact that newly registered nurses, so they're trained nurses, they've they've completed their training, they've completed their degree. In the first year, they just need a little bit of support and a developmental framework to work out what being a registered nurse is, or a registered nursing associate is for them, and we help that process. I think a lot of nurses don't necessarily know what preceptorship is, particularly older nurses.
You don't have it.
You know, I didn't have preceptorship because I trained with Florence Nightingale, so
That's exactly what Trish said. Brilliant. Thank you guys so much. It's been really great to
Thank you.
talk to you,
Thank
to
you very
just
much.
share with our listeners a bit about who we are and what we do in this team. So over the next sort of few weeks, we're going to meet some preceptees, current preceptees, some current international nurses as well.
AHPs.
We'll meet with some of our allied health professionals, paediatrics, midwives, and ending with sort of meeting some of our preceptors. Yeah, super vital to that support on the wards.
Very.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Very much so. It's been really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.